I'm LeAnn Chastain.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
So, I'm a counselor here at the agency, and I'm really glad you came in today.
Thank you.
So, we'll just talk today for about 50 minutes, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I'll be listening and sometimes asking questions so I can make sure that I understand you correctly.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll try to maybe summarize what you say to me and just check back with you that I understand your situation correctly. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. I'm really glad you came in, and I hope you'll choose to be open and honest with me. I have a few issues of confidentiality that I would like to discuss with you, and you can kind of follow along here.
Okay.
I want you to know that everything you say to me will remain confidential within the agency unless you give me written permission to share information with someone else. There are just a few exceptions. First, I'm a mandated reporter, which means that if there's any suspicion of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse of a child, elderly person, or an incapacitated adult, I'm required by law to report that to the proper authorities. Also, if you tell me something that indicates you are either a danger to yourself or to someone else, I'm required to take appropriate steps to ensure the safety of those involved. Do you have any questions about confidentiality?
No, I'm good.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what brings you in today?
Well, recently I've been having some trouble with my parents and communicating. Little problems that come up have ended up in huge blown out arguments where I don't ever get my point across. They just end up yelling at me, and every time I try and tell them what I feel or what I think, they just cut me off and say, like, we're the adults and you're the child, like, we know the best, and nothing ever gets figured out, and I just end up not figuring things out and not communicating with them and telling them what I want and what I need.
Okay. So, it sounds like maybe you're feeling frustrated because you feel like maybe they don't really listen to you and they're not getting to hear your point of view on things.
Exactly. Like, everything that comes up, even if it's not a big thing, just little things about my room being messy, will turn into a huge problem about me not being able to live by myself, because I'm 18 now and I'm going to leave soon. So if little things happen, like my room not being messy, it'll just be blown out of proportion about me not being able to live by myself. Or if I don't get a homework assignment done, even if it was like really hard and I couldn't figure it out, it'll turn out like, we're not paying for your college if you're not going to do your homework, which I do it. It just turns, like, little things that I don't mean to do, everyone messes up, will turn into huge arguments where they just end up yelling at me, and I never like, get to say whatever I feel. They just cut me off, and that's it.
So, it sounds like you're really upset by all the arguments and the fighting, especially since you're just at home for a short amount of time, probably.
Yeah, I'm not at home soon for a long time. I'm moving out soon. So, like, I'm moving out, and just recently, it's kind of like we've been arguing way more than we have normally. A couple of years ago, they were like the laid-back parents that would be cool with whatever I did, and we got along really well. And now recently, it's like everything I do will turn into an argument, and it'll start off with us just talking and being normal, and then it'll escalate to where they're yelling and I'm yelling, and I'll end up crying because they'll just cut me off and be like, no, you're the child, like, go to your room. Sorry. You're the child. Go to your room, we know best, and it'll just end like that, and we'll never get our point across, end up talking about what we need to.
So, I think I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you're really disappointed about all the fighting.
Yeah.
And maybe, are you a little confused? Because it sounds like they maybe used to give you a little more freedom than they do now.
Yeah, and I'm 18 now.
Right.
So, I feel like I should be getting more freedom. Like, when I go out at nights, I always have to be home by a certain time. And I feel like they used to not be so controlling and like controlling of my life and what I did. It's like now that I've turned 18 and I can actually do all the things that I've wanted to do, they have all of a sudden like reined everything in, and now I'm not able to do what I want.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating and stuff.
So it sounds like you're really disappointed. You really kind of expected to have more freedom, and you
Yeah.
kind of feel like you have less.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm growing apart from my parents because we get in all these arguments about pointless things that we had never brought up before, and we don't end up talking about them. We just yell at each other, and that's it. We don't end up figuring out the problem.
Yeah, that sounds really frustrating. I can understand why you feel so upset about it. Well, it sounds like then, if I'm hearing you correctly, that you might really like to work on some ways to better communicate with your parents so that you
Yeah.
all could maybe hear each other's points of view rather than just have the fighting that kind of seems to take over when you guys
Exactly.
discuss things.
I just want us to talk more and not yell at each other as much.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a great goal, and I would love to help you with that. Maybe would you like to get together next week at the same time? Is that
Yeah.
convenient for you? Okay, good. Also, throughout the next week, I'm thinking it might be a good idea if you could just kind of keep a little record of if you guys do have a disagreement that where you feel like you're not heard and things kind of blow up and end up in a big fight, maybe you could just kind of jot down what started it, just so that, next week when we get together, we can really focus on what the hot topics are. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
great. Great. Well, thank you for coming, Jasmine. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.